To start this webinar off, I'm going to be plotting a spreadsheet of data. I'm going to choose new map of my data table or spreadsheet. I'm going to go to my training folder, and just so that you can see this Excel sheet before I plot it, I'm just going to right click on it and choose open. Okay, so we have a few different sheets here. We have a customer sheet, which has a list of our customers. This is just a bunch of made up customers in the greater Denver area. We have a short list of stores, and these are going to be, I believe, the current store locations. Yes, they are. And then we have a list of candidate facilities. So these are candidate locations that we'll be using later in this webinar. So you don't have to worry about those yet. I'm going to double click on that sheet. And we're going to be starting off with the stores tab. So to start off with here, I'm going to plot these by street address and all those match up. So I can choose locate records by address, zip code, or city. I'm going to be importing data, and we don't need a type of theme for this, so we can leave this on none. And we'll go ahead and hit finish. Okay. So we have 15 stores, so these are going to be treated as our current locations. And we want to use the data in these stores and what their sales are like and their surrounding demographics to get basically an idea of what we want to look for when we're trying to plot our new stores. So I'm going to right click on our stores layer and choose new data view so you can see it. You can see each of these stores has an associated made up sales figure ranging anywhere from several hundred to around 25,000. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the demographics around each of these locations. Or actually, first we're going to select the points that have the highest sales because those are the stores that we want to emulate, basically. So let's do the 25,000, the 20,000, and the 10,000 store. So those are the highest, it looks like. We can select any other number of these if we wanted to, but we're going to start with just those. I guess we'll include the 9,000 as well. That is pretty high compared to the rest of these. We can close this. Those 4 stores should be highlighted. And we're going to create buffers around these locations so that we can get a better idea of the demographics that are around these stores. So I'm going to choose create buffers. I'm going to use my selection of buffers. And we're going to do 3-mile buffers. You can choose any size you want here. You can even do multiple sizes. I'm going to choose separate buffers and get the buffer names from the store. We're going to calculate demographics. And that should be good. So hit OK. Okay. So here are our stores, and here's the buffer information around each one. So a couple things to note here as we scroll through, we can see that, let's see here, where is our, so this is store 3770. It has roughly 115,000 median household income surrounding it, and store 4768 has around 111,000. So let's take a look at which stores these are. Okay, let's go ahead and tile my windows vertically, or I guess horizontally probably works better for this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And let's click on the info tool so we can learn more about this store. Okay, so this store in particular has the highest median household income surrounding it, and it has also, this was our highest sales value for any of the stores. So it's possible that household income is playing a factor in the sales of our stores. So let's check out some of these other points. Let's move to the next one here. Oh, this is our second highest. Nice. So our second highest sales store also has relatively high household median income. We could look at some of these other demographics as well, but for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to keep it to just household median income. You could certainly look at factors like population, percent change in household income over the years, as well as the populations that fall into different brackets. You could even look at races, basically whatever demographics you're targeting and you think you want to, or that you think are important to your business, you can take a look at here. But for the sake of this example, I'll be primarily looking at household median income, and it looks like that we have a couple locations, both with the highest sales among my stores, that have also extremely high household median incomes in the area. So it's reasonable for me to think that if I were placing a new store location, I'd probably want to be looking for a place that has high household median income. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's return to our map, zoom out a bit, and we'll take a look at just zip codes that have household median income, say over 100,000. So I'll right click on the zip code layer, choose my working layer. I'll choose select by condition. From the field list dropdown, I will choose household median income, type a greater than sign, and we'll do 100,000. So this is going to select zip codes with over 100,000 household median income. And what we could do is we also may want to look at zip codes that have high population, because theoretically, more people that are in that area that could reach our store would result in more sales. So let's go ahead and add a condition to this. So let's pull up our household median income greater than 100,000, or 100,000. We will add another condition with the AND operator. And we will also do, let's do population divided by area. So we'll do population density, it's greater than 3,000. So this will be population density of greater than 3,000 people per square mile. Okay, that narrows it down quite a bit. Awesome. So we have some zip codes down here, and we're going to have one up here near downtown Denver as well. So the next step is going to be to basically look for potential real estate or candidate locations in these areas. So these are our areas of interest. Now might be a good time to use another service to basically look for available locations in these areas. Alternatively, we could use the facility location tool with something like the city and town layer to further narrow down which of these would be the best location. I'm going to treat it as, I've gone out and I've found a number of available locations, and then I've brought back a spreadsheet of those 3 or 4 locations, and then I'm going to add those to my map. So I'm going to do that by choosing map and then add table or spreadsheet to a map. Again, from my sample data USA here. This time I'm going to use my sheet of candidates. So we're treating these as candidate locations that I've gone out and shopped around for, and these look like viable locations just based on the area and maybe their availability and price. So basically factors that are not necessarily what you're looking at on the map here. I'm going to be plotting these using the same settings, so I'm just going to kind of go through these. Next. Okay, plotted all 3. So these were locations that I found that are basically inside of these zip codes. So we didn't want to be too close to my other store. So my other store is down here. So we probably want to pick locations that are in either this zip code or this zip code or one of these 2. Just so happens that the ones that I found are located in zip codes 80238 and 80015. So these will be our 3 candidate locations for the facility location tool. So now that we have 3 locations that are potentially good candidates, we want to find which of these is the best to serve our current customer base as well. So let's go to the map menu and choose add table or spreadsheet to a map again. This time I'll add the customer's data. Okay, those are going to get added in green. And let's zoom back to our area of interest. And I'm just going to drop the size of these customers a bit. That way we can see our stores a little bit better. So we have these 3 candidate locations, and we have customers all around Denver and the greater Denver area. We want to find which of these 3 candidate locations are best suited to serve, this customer base. We already assume that these are all good candidate locations based on demographics. So all it's left to see is, how they would serve our current customers and what we see to be potential customers, anything like that. So to do this, we're going to use the facility location tool. So I'm going to go to the tools menu, choose analysis, and then facility location. For our client settings, we're going to choose our customers layer, and the client set is all those features. I do have existing facilities in my map that I want to take into account, and those are in my stores layer. So let's pick that here. All features is fine, and the name comes from the store. My candidate facilities are those 3 candidate facilities that I added. So we'll choose the candidates layer, again, all features, and the name is going to be the candidate number. It's fine. We can choose between routes and straight lines. I'm going to choose routes. We are going to skip routes that are longer than 30 minutes because in this example, I'm just assuming that no one would travel over 30 minutes to get to one of my stores. You could certainly increase this value if you want, or you could just leave this unchecked. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to speed up the calculation a little bit by adding this gate. Number of new facilities, I'm going to choose manual here and say I want 1 new facility or store location. We want to provide best overall service to our clients, and the waiting field is going to be the Q1 sales for those. So we assume that, if I have a sales number associated with each of these customers, and I want to service the customers better based on that Q1 sales value. Choose finish. Okay, awesome. So the results of this add a column to my customers layer. So this is my layer of customers, showing the facility that they would be assigned to based on the distance that they are from those facilities. So it's going to assign the closest one. The weighted cost of facility is it's our waiting field, I believe, multiplied by the distance. So essentially the weighted cost for them to get from there, or for them to be serviced by this facility. And I believe that is it. So yeah, it just basically appends these columns to the customer's data view. And if you wanted to export this, you could choose File, Export Table. But the important thing we want to look at here is which of our facilities it did pick. So based on the locations of our customers and locations of our current stores, it estimates that this particular location is the best of these 3 to service our current customer base. So we now know that this is a good location based on demographics, and thus a good location to service potential customers. We know that this is good for servicing our current customers as well. At least out of these 3, it's the best one. And we do have a table that shows us which of our current customers would be being assigned to this new store based on this information. If you wanted to, you could repeat this analysis looking at more demographics. So I pretty much only looked at household median income, and I used the conditions for just household median income and then population density. Like I mentioned before, you could certainly add additional demographics if you wanted to look at them. You can string them together with more AND operators if you want to sort of dig a little bit deeper. You could look at individual zip codes and find ones that look appealing to you. There's certainly a lot of ways to go about the demographic portion of this. But once you've done that, find locations that look good. You could make a selection from the city and town layer, or you could do what I did and bring in individual address locations, and then run the facility location tool and see what results you get.